Hello everyone, welcome back to Red Tone Studio. I, of course, am Red, your host. Have you ever wanted a quick and easy way to record your music or whatever audio out in the field? And I'm talking set it and forget it type easy. The thing I'm going to show you today could easily take the place of one of those Zoom handy recorders if you wanted it to. So I have something for you. I have found a way to set up a single board computer like a Rasberry Pi to do just that. Now I have a separate music channel where I now post all of my cover songs and eventually original music, and I gig about once a year right now, so I'd like to record that audio and then sync it later with any video that I have taken. And I don't want to rely on a cell phone mic to pick up my performance, because that sounds terrible, and I'd like to professionally mix it later here in the studio. So today I'm going to walk you through how I set all of this up and got it working perfectly for myself. Now, this isn't for the faint of heart. You should be somewhat familiar with the Raspberry Pi type machine and running Linux, mainly in the command terminal. But if I can do it, so can you. So let's jump in. First, let's gather everything that we need to get this set up. First thing, of course, is you're going to need a single board computer. Now, you can pick up a Raspberry Pi for fairly cheap, as they have them in stock again. And it really doesn't matter which one you get, the 3, the 4, the 5. So I would be comfortable all the way down to the 3B+. So the 4 or even the newest 5 will almost surely work. I am quite the rebel and cheap, so I am using a Libre from Libre Computers. It was available a couple of years ago when I started this journey and has similar specs to a Pi 3B+, I think. It really just needs to be able to run the DAW Reaper, and that runs on just about anything, including a potato. So, next up, you're going to need an audio interface to send in a digital signal to the Pi or potato in my case. This can be any audio interface that you already have. For my live shows, I use a digital mixer from Behringer, the Flow 8. It acts as my mixer for vocals and guitar, while also sending out data through a USB port here on the back. So you can use almost any other digital mixer or an audio interface, something like Claret or, if you don't need the live portion. So there are a lot of options here. So that's about it for hardware besides normal computer peripherals like mouse, keyboard, monitor. And of course, you'll need a mic, some cables, a USB cord. To get this going, we are going to be programming the Pi to boot up automatically into its OS operating system, bypass any lock screen or password, automatically start Reaper, which is our DAW, load a template that is in that DAW, arm the tracks we want to record, and then start recording automatically. We want to make sure our tracks are saved every few minutes so we don't lose any data when we unplug at the end of the night. So let's start working on the first step. I'm going to assume that you already have a Pi that is set up with an operating system on it. I am using the Pi Raspberry OS, as it seems to be stable and I was able to get Reaper working on it just fine. There may be some better options out there. I don't know. Now, since I don't have a capture card, you are going to have to watch my screen kind of over my shoulder through my camera facing the screen. I'm really sorry about that. Hopefully the quality is good enough. And this process will involve me turning my potato off and on a couple of times, so screen recording really isn't possible either. So I'll do my best to make sure you get it all and it's seeable. So first, let's work on making sure the Pi boots up into Pi OS without prompting for a password. To do that, we must go to the command terminal, and we're going to type sudo raspi-config. So this brings up our configuration tool. Hit enter to go into the system options. Then we're going to go down to S5 boot auto login. And you can see it will log me in under red tone here at B4. So hit enter and it brings us back to the first page of the config. Go down or hit left, right, and hit finish. Then it will ask you if you want to reboot. So here you would usually say yes, but for this demonstration I'm going to say no. So that was pretty simple. So that is going to boot us right up into the operating system without having to type in a password. So now let's go through the steps to get Reaper installed. So this is pretty easy. We're going to go to the browser and we're going to navigate to Reaper's download page, which I have set up as a bookmark. We're going to scroll down and we're going to look for the Linux section and find Arch 64 right here. This is the one that works on our operating system and my Libre Potato, and also on the Raspberry Pis, I believe. So we're going to download this, and you can see that is now downloading here in the bottom corner. And I can click on the link here to open it up. Takes a little while, this thing is slow. So we have the install Reaper sh, but first we need to extract these files, so we'll extract them. Find a place to put them. We'll put them on the desktop for now. Hit open, and then we're going to extract. Go back to our desktop, open up that folder. We're going to have to right click or double click, and then we can execute in terminal. And then that will run the script and install Reaper. So we're going to set it up to install Reaper, which is I. Hitting enter. And then we're going to pick which path to install, which I'm going to install here in the OPT. So number 1. And would you like desktop integration? And just go through here after this point and hit Y for everything. I'm going to close out of this because it's already installed. So now, we'll close these for now. So now let's get Reaper to automatically start up when my Potato starts up. To do this, we are going to go to the Raspberry here in the corner. We're going to come up here to Preferences. We're going to go to Desktop Session Settings. And here we go to the Automatically Started tab, scroll all the way down, and make sure that Reaper is checked. And hit OK. So now we can finally get into Reaper. So back down to the Raspberry Pi, up to Sound and Video, and then to Reaper. And this will start us up. I don't have my Flow 8 hooked up right now, so it's saying I don't have an audio device. If you need help with your audio device connecting to your Raspberry Pi, there's many videos online where you can watch for that, or put a comment down and maybe I can make a video on that in the future. So first we need to set up this new template. Now you can make sure that your interface is plugged in. Make sure that it is seen. Here in Reaper Preferences, by clicking on the audio device, click OK. So now it has it. We can create the number of tracks we want. So if I wanted to add a new track, say I wanted to record 2 people at my gig, I can then choose different inputs by arming these two, selecting input 3 and 4. Make sure you arm them. Here we had to arm them to name them, so that made it easy. Then we go to File. We go down to Project Templates, and we can save this project as a template. I'm not going to do that because I already have my 2-channel template already set up. Now we need to go to our Preferences, so click on Options, Preferences at the bottom, or Control P. Then in General at the top, make sure that Open Projects on Startup is set to New Project down here. You should also check for new versions, right here. Make sure that is unchecked. And I also disabled the show splash screen and skip animation just so it starts up maybe a little bit faster. And then we're going to go down to the project tab. And here in the first box, we need to find our template RPP channel. So here you can see that I have the 2-channel RPP already in this box. Then if we changed anything, we'll hit apply and then hit OK. So now Reaper, whenever it turns on, will come up with this template installed. So now let's get it to automatically record when it is started. This is what took me the longest to figure out, but with my help, it shouldn't take you that long. Now, if you spent a little bit more money, you could also buy a touchscreen and a case that automatically attaches to your Raspberry Pi and skip this step completely. Just remember to hit that play button or the record button at the beginning of your gig. That may give you some more peace of mind, but we are trying to be cheap here. Let's get real. You may recognize a theme here on my channel. To start, we need to build a custom action. To do this, we are going to open up our action list here, Actions, Show Action List. Then we will select a new action down here, and then New Custom Action. And when this comes up, we can give it a name, Auto Start Record. I already have one here, Auto Record, so we'll come back and delete this later. Make sure that you check the Show and Actions menu. And then we need to drag actions over here. So the first one to bring in is File, New Project. So we'll drag that over. And then we need to choose Record, Transport Record. So bring that over. And then that will make sure we have a new project, and then it will do the transport record. So it records it as we need it. Again, like I said, make sure this is checked here in the Show in Actions menu, and then we can hit OK. I'm going to hit cancel because I already have this set up. So now you can see here up at the top, I have a custom auto record action and a super long command ID that we're going to need later. So now we need to create a script that runs at startup. You can see here I already have an __ startup.lua, and you will need one too. To get that, first we must go to the new action and select this time New RIA Script. And then here you would type in __, very important that you have both underscores, startup.lua, and then hit save. I'm of course going to hit cancel because I've done this already. Then we need to go back to our file manager. We are going to find that file. So this one is under Home, Redtone, which is my computer name, Config, Reaper, and then Scripts. And then we'll double click the startup.lua, which should bring up a text file editor, or Genie apparently is what I have, and we type this information in, as you can see here, and it is a lot. Reaper, main, on command, all one word, parentheses, Reaper, dot, named command lookup, parentheses, and then you can see here, we have a bunch of letters and numbers, and this is the action that we wanted to take. So we can go back to Reaper here. So you can see that in our action list under command ID is the long string of numbers that we need. We can right click and copy selected action command ID. And then we go back to our editor and we paste that in. Then we need to close the parentheses, give it a comma, and then a -1 and close that last parentheses. And then we can save and exit. Save up here, exit. That was a lot, but I think we are in the home stretch now. So thanks for sticking around this long. Now everything is set up with that custom script, so it will start and it will do that at every time Reaper opens. So now the last thing we need to do is set it so that the files that we are recording get saved regularly at the end of the gig, so we don't power down the Pi and then everything gets erased or corrupted. To do this, we need to go back into our options and then preferences. Then we go to project again. We've been here before, and you can see that we have a project saving actions. The things I have checked here are what has worked for me so far. I have it saying every 10 minutes. You could also try 5, and make sure it is set to any time here and not when it's not recording or when stopped. So make sure it's on any time. And now when you power down, just don't turn the Pi off for 10 or 5 minutes. So wait till the last song ends, give it 5 or 10 minutes of silence, then unplug it. This will make sure that you grab the complete performance. This is easy enough for me because I have a ton of other things to tear down and pack up. So that should be it. Let's give it a try. I have a mic plugged into channel 1 and my guitar plugged into channel 2. So let's boot this potato and see what happens on the screen when it gets done booting up. Here we go. So there you have it. It worked. It's recording the guitar. Check, 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 check. Recording my vocals on number 1. Might be a little bit low. Maybe I can turn them up. But when I sing loud. So I think it's working pretty well. So now, when I'm done recording my gig, I will just turn it off. For now, I'll just stop the recording. And I bring my potato back here to my studio, hook it up to a keyboard and mouse, and then use the USB to transfer all the files to a thumb drive and then onto my studio computer for mixing. At that time, I can sync it up with any video I have taken, and it makes a pretty decent live video. You can check out my other channel if you want. So there you have it, a complete field recording on the cheap with a little Raspberry Pi or potato type computer. It wasn't too much work, was it? If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one.